Episode 30 of the Odds Brothers on a Monday, a WTF Monday. We're broadcasting live from the Bentley Sportsbook inside Southland Casino and Hotel. And, when you give a lot of advice on the show or
For free,
and you don't even take your own advice, like that hook, that 3.5 points screwed me all weekend long in this Pick 6 contest, my worst ever.
yeah, but you had a good streak going for a while, Pa.
I did. Everybody's going to have a bad day. I just hope it don't continue.
Yeah, that's right.
We gave out what? How much in free food?
$75 free food.
That sucks.
And thank God I was above my average. Otherwise, it could have been the whole enchilada.
The whole enchilada? Luckily, these guys are out of town, so good luck collecting it.
That's right.
Get it.
Welcome to the Odds Brothers Podcast, coming to you from the Bentley Sportsbook inside the new Southland Casino and Hotel. Follow the Odds Brothers Podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google, and YouTube. Today's show is presented by Bentley Online Sportsbook. Download the Bentley Online state-specific sportsbook app today from the Google Play or Apple App Stores. Now here are the hosts of the show, Moneyline Mark.
I'm not a smart man.
And Point Spread Shane.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Do it. Do the look.
I don't even know. I'm not even quite sure how that went. But based on the picks, you would have swore I probably was sniffing glue.
I think you were.
Actually, it's one of those weekends that just happens. Like, all those games could have easily been covers, and we would have been talking about another, 5-1 week for me? The only one I completely whiffed on that had zero chance in the whole wide world ended up being those damn Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
So they're a mess. Of course, it don't hurt or help things when you lose one of your top remaining wideouts in the first play of the game and your best running back a little later. So,
yeah, Green Bay's horrible. Like I told you last week, I think that he should have, at the end of the game, should have came out for his press conference and said, I'm retiring. Because
Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, the old man.
The old man. Well,
he's done. Put a fork in him.
Guess who they got coming up next week? These Cowboys coming off a bye week, so that could be any. They're desperation mode.
Where are they playing?
Teams. I believe up in Green Bay.
Yeah, but Dallas's defense, I don't care how desperate Green Bay can be. Dallas' defense.
Well, yeah.
It's going to be a lot tougher than the Lions' defense.
Yeah, you just scored 9 at the Lions, and if neither one of those guys are back, that's going to be rough sailing.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Well, we're going to take a look at all of our picks over the top 25 in college and pro coming up in just a minute. In the meantime, if you have not signed up for the Bentley app in either Arkansas or Tennessee, Mark's going to tell you about one hell of a deal.
You want to get signed up, especially if you've never bet before. If you've never bet before and you get signed up on the mobile app either in Arkansas or on Tennessee or in Tennessee, you can get up to $250 in free bets for your first bet if it loses. So you have nothing to lose on that first bet. Bet up to $250 as long as your odds are minus 250 or greater. And if your ticket is a loser, you'll get that back in a free bet. Whatever you bet. So if you bet $50 and lost, you get $50 back in a free bet.
That's not a shabby deal.
Not shabby at all, because then if you're a loser here in Arkansas and you live close enough to Tennessee, slide on over the border and make another bet through the Tennessee app.
Now, I probably should have signed up in both areas because I would have definitely needed the risk-free portion of the bet. And like I said, I felt good about most of them, most of the way. So it happens every once in a while, week to week, and it happened to me finally, and it probably tightened up the leaderboard quite a bit. We'll take a look at that later when we go over the review on the Pick 6 game.
You'd be shocked.
I would be shocked.
It's not as close as you think. You had such a dominant lead.
Yeah, well, I better shape it up. I mean, we'll take a look and see what happens with the bye week teams next week. I don't think there's quite as many as there were this week, but not a whole lot of choices in game. You almost had to pick every one of them that they did bring out. And the one thing I did hit out of all of them, my best bet.
Yeah, that was your only one.
It was, but I'll tell you, man, the New England and Belichick against rookie quarterbacks coming in there is still intact and in full effect.
You hit that, and I was hoping that you didn't hit that one because I wanted to catch you.
The first zero?
I can't catch not your zero. You can get everything else, just not your pick of the week.
That's the one thing that hasn't happened on this show is zero. We've had a 1, right?
Don't be jinxing us.
Well,
we've never had a 1,
no,
but
had some 2s.
some people who think they're pros had a 1.
They had a 1, Derek.
Yeah, and I've had plenty of 2s.
Yeah, but you've been on fire lately, and you almost hit that crushing, what was it, alternate reality universe, Tennessee on the money line yesterday.
Plus 570.
For, oh my goodness, 64 minutes of the game. I would say that you were looking pretty good, and then they just, they couldn't do it.
Tennessee's got nothing. You hit the nail on the head last week when you said, on Friday, when you said they've got nothing to pass to, and their quarterback isn't that good. That quarterback, forget about it.
Well, he's young. I'll give him that. From Liberty, a small school. Spot road start at Arrowhead Stadium on a Sunday night. That's tough for quarterbacks that know what the hell they're doing and have experience. But 5 of 16 for 80 yards.
Yeah, that's yucky.
I think 1 first down maybe in the entire second half, and yet it needed overtime to pull this out. And we'll go over each game a little bit later in the show. I guess we should start with our college picks, which something tells me we've had a few good calls, but for me, I didn't think I had a good weekend on these at all.
I say the college isn't going to go well either for either one of us.
All right. Well, first up, we talk about Captain Hook. Here we go. Washington was at home against Oregon State. That was Friday night game last week. And 21-24, so that hook gets you if you took Washington at home. Over under a 54.5. Well, that didn't quite get there either. It ended up at 45.
No, if you look at the screen, we'll remind our YouTube viewers. And for those of you listening at home, there's no heads on the screen.
That's right.
That means neither one of us will win us.
And keep in mind, we would love for you to subscribe and like.
That's right.
Even if you're a podcast listener, you can see these ugly mugs and get the faces on the picks.
That's right. It's like, hey, who's giving us these free picks? We want to see these folks.
It's the holidays. We need to all feel warm and cuddly.
Yeah.
So give it to us. All right, let's get the hell off that game. No faces.
It's not getting any better.
Ohio State at Northwestern. Now, I will say this was weather impacted. If you watched any highlights of this game at all, 30, 40-mile-an-hour winds most of the game, if not the entire game. Some off and on rain. And Ohio State did grind it out, 21-7. Obviously, nowhere near that 38.5. And nowhere near the 56.5 if you'd like to go over. And no heads there because we both thought Ohio State was just going to smash them.
Number 2, I'll tell you this, though. I know you probably have it pulled up there on your little computer.
Yes, somewhere.
Those rankings changed just a scoosh.
They did, and we'll go over that at the end of all of them.
All right.
Because guess who's not in it no more, and guess who's in?
Nebraska?
They're still not in it.
Okay.
All right, TCU. 34-24 over Texas Tech. Ooh, just enough to get both of those heads on the TCU side.
Right.
They won by 10. We needed 9.5, or basically 10 or more, and they just got there. 58 was the over-under, so it tended to sail under, which I was a little shocked by. But anyway, chalk up at least one. We're one out of 3 so far together.
There's a free pick.
They're free. We don't charge for them. Otherwise, I have a feeling we'd have to refund this.
This week would not be good.
Oh, my God. I didn't see this one coming either. With North Carolina and Virginia. Now, North Carolina was 7.5-point favorites. They only won, as you can see there, by a measly 3.
Was there bad weather in Virginia? Let's say there was.
Well, it wasn't the greatest weather, but it wasn't anything. I mean, Virginia came to play. They were able to run the ball on North Carolina, and realistically, North Carolina was in threat to lose the game outright, more or less try to cover this game. So we'll see what happened to them in the rankings, if that factored in to whether they stayed or dropped. Let's see. Oh, my God, they actually raised them after that game. That's
what?
Brutal.
Wow.
We'll try to figure that out. Why there was a lot of losses in ranked teams last week anyway.
Yeah.
Tulane, this is a team that didn't lose, and you see both heads on there on the Tulane side. They were 7.5-point favorites over Tulsa, 27-13. This took a little while to get comfortable with the spread covering here. Over under, though, 56.5 here.
Yeah.
Wasn't even close. I thought this was going to be a lot more high scoring than that.
Right now we're seeing a lot of unders paying off.
Yeah, and in Tulsa it wasn't weather at all. So, I mean, on the East Coast where there are a lot of games, I could see some weather factoring into a lot of these over-unders, but Tulsa wouldn't have been one of those on Saturday. Big game on the slate. Tennessee and
well, I don't know where it went.
Georgia.
It always happens. Somehow it just gets on its own little mind.
Well, we should see some heads here.
There we go. We're getting there.
And
not that one.
There's TCU.
Not that one.
Not that one.
And not that one.
Oh, we like that one.
There we go.
There we go. No heads.
No heads.
because we thought Tennessee could keep it within 8.5. I thought
Yeah.
Georgia would win. I thought Georgia obviously had the better defense, but I did think Tennessee was going to score more than 13 points with
I did
that
too.
high-power offense.
And they did not look good, though. They did not look good on offense.
No, and when you had a 40 total score on a over-under of 66.5, that just lets you know how much Tennessee did not show up to the party. Welcome to your 1-week reign at number 1. You are now out of the college football playoff if it started today.
Bye.
We'll probably see them, though. We'll see. In some sort of big bowl game, maybe even the playoffs, because Ohio State and Michigan got to play each other still.
You'll see them in bowl games because there's like 80,000 bowl games. Toilet Bowl. I'm sure Nebraska will be in one of them.
Not without that record that we'll see in a minute. Oregon, though, they moved to 8-1 on the year with a nice, convincing thrashing of Colorado, which we predicted. Colorado's still not ranked number 10 in the nation.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to fix that. My bad.
That's all right. But 49-10, the final score. Oregon was 31.5-point favorites with an over-under 62.5.
Check it. Maybe they moved up for losing.
Yeah, I mean, 10th from the bottom.
Oh, that's what it means.
That's right.
All right.
All right, Penn State. Now, this is the one that Mark
That's
picked.
right.
I thought Penn State was going to quit. Their two big games of the year. I wouldn't say quit, but I didn't think they'd be as motivated. And they ended up just slashing all over Indiana, 45-14 here. So they easily cover the 13.5. I thought Indiana was going to actually put up a better fight than that. I'm really kind of shocked that they didn't.
Now, where'd that put Penn State in the rankings?
Well, Penn State ended up moving up one spot to 14 after this one. So, I mean, you beat Indiana. I guess you were supposed to. To me, I thought this was a trap game. I think I even might have predicted this might have been an upset possibility with Indiana winning outright. It just went with the rest of my weekend. How about this shocker? Michigan State and Illinois.
Wasn't a shocker to us.
Do you not have the right score?
Probably not.
You do, 23-15, but there's no way Illinois won one or covered the 16.5 points.
Looks good to me.
That's how bad we got when we got to sneak it by, folks, that we picked this game right.
That's right.
Actually, those heads in this picture.
Math is right.
Yeah, in this picture show that who we picked. Michigan State came to play a little bit. 23 points on that defense was pretty impressive, and Illinois just shows you how limited they are. They got to win with defense. Offense, if the run game ain't going, they ain't going.
Wow, let's get off of that.
All right.
How about this one?
Oh, my God. So, I had this moment last week.
You did.
Oklahoma State.
Get it.
Coach Gundy.
Yeah.
Got to go.
No, he's good.
Yeah, you got not only beat by Kansas, you got beat pretty convincingly by Kansas, 37-16.
How
I mean,
about
come
that,
on, you were the 18th ranked in the country. Let me check here.
Yeah.
No longer ranked.
Boom.
Bye-bye.
One
And
head.
there's your head. You picked
This
Kansas.
guy. I did.
So I guess good for you. They're 6-3 now. They'll definitely make a bowl game. Kansas, I don't think, has been to a bowl game since I've been alive.
Wow, that's a long time.
All right, you might want to fact check that. It's probably
It's checked.
before that. Number 20, Syracuse, you let me down, too. You ended up getting beat 19-9 at Pittsburgh. Of course, there was some weather, wind, and stuff up there, but still.
Let's use that excuse every time we lose.
Nah, you shouldn't because, you know, this time of year especially, and as we get later, these last 3 or 4 weeks, you got to look at the weather, and especially these northeastern college towns that host games. None of them, for the most part, play in dome stadiums. They're all outdoor stadiums. So you might want to look at this going forward, Shane, and see what's going on. Now, not that either one of these teams had prolific pass offenses, in my opinion, but still,
All right.
no heads there.
You're not pulling a Stewart and starting talking to yourself on camera, are you?
Trying not to.
Okay.
UCF, here's where I got one right, at
You
least.
did.
I like how they're playing. They beat Memphis 35-28, so it wasn't like they blew them out, but enough to cover the 3.5 here. The over-under, if you're over-under player, that finally came through at 63. So you finally get one that's over. Most of these games have been under this week,
right.
which is rare, especially in college.
Well, it was good weather in Memphis.
All right, best game of the day. Alabama at LSU. LSU got the cojones and went for 2
You said it.
in overtime and got it. It was a win or lose play. They could have played for the extra point and went into a second overtime period. They did not.
This game helped the book.
Yeah, because there was a lot of roll tide, I'm sure, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was.
So even if LSU didn't end up getting that 2-point conversion, the 12.5 Alabama at no time was even close to covering that. Never had control of the game. That's their second loss on the year now, and I'd have to go back and look at the our predictions, but I think I had Alabama under that 10.5 or 11.
I think you said they were going to be number 1.
Yeah, we'll see. Wait for the season to get done because I know there were a lot of them that were still in the balance of and you had some good picks on a few of them, I got to admit. 31-32, so for that game, that went sailing over as well.
Oh, my bad.
Texas, well, you went in there. Finally, Kansas State got me to believe in them, and guess what happened?
Yeah.
They crapped the bed.
He should have stayed away from Kansas.
They pulled an Amber Heard big time at home. 24th ranked Texas was only 2.5-point favorites, and then went ahead and beat them 34-27. It was a little late, more than that even. Fourth quarter late score by Kansas State made it look better. Over under 54.5 did go over as well. So Texas decides to continue to climb the ranks. They go to 18th in the country now.
Wow.
So Big Six thing. Kansas State still stays in there at 23.
Huh. All right.
All right, big team. Number 4, Clemson. They go down. They go down.
That graphic isn't right either.
No, 35-14.
We picked Clemson.
It was so bad that we got to try to just throw our, like, who we picked, even though they didn't win. Notre Dame, I'm shocked Clemson didn't make this competitive,
now,
at least. I'm not shocked that they lost because I could see that, but, Mark?
Richard went on his tirade with his stat facts and said that Notre Dame was going to be this was going to be an upset, and he was right.
He was right.
He got me so distraught. I went ahead and said we won.
And we did not.
Yeah, all right, moving off that
All right,
graphic.
here's a team that won, Michigan.
Yeah.
Boy, they needed a big second half, but they finally dump trucked Rutgers. This game was within a field goal, I believe, at halftime. Might have even been tied. I'd have to look. But then Michigan all second half, 52-17. So that 25.5 just gets covered, or does it? 17? Yes.
Yes.
23? No.
No?
By half a point.
Oh, there's the hook for you.
No, it ain't. I'm sorry.
No?
20 points would be 40 or 37. So
37.
we got it. 42.5.
Total.
All right, so give us the Michigan. They move into the college football playoff now. I believe they're third. We'll go through that in a minute. Arizona at Utah. Here's another one that we got right. Arizona was not favored by 17.5. It was Utah. But either way, they covered 45-20. Over under 68.5. Are you doing some drinky last night?
That looks good to me. Winner. As bad as our NFL picks were, I'm going to make us look good on the college picks.
Arizona had to give points.
That's right.
All right, no, they didn't, but Utah covered anyway. Wake Forest, they finally go down. It was a good game, though. North Carolina State at home, 32-21.
Right.
So I'm not even sure this is right, but we'll give you
right.
credit for it anyway until I can find out anything different. North Carolina
You're right.
State
This one's not right either.
goes to 7-2 now. North Carolina State, are they ranked ahead?
Oh, my bad. You're going back here. Okay. I was ready to
they're
move on.
17th in the nation.
All right.
Just seeing. Wake Forest, are you still ranked? You are not. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, California. Well, they put up a better showing against USC than expected. 35, I think, is the most they scored all year, which lets you know how bad the USC defense actually is. 41-35, they do win. It does go over pretty impressively, but USC is a very flawed team on defense when California, of all people, can score 35.
Doggy.
So, no.
I didn't have that. I thought USC was going to hurt them.
I did think it was going to stay within 21, but I didn't think it was going to stay within 6.
Yeah. All right.
And last but not least, on the ranked games anyway, UCLA takes care of business pretty easily over Arizona State, at least easily enough to cover the 10.5. It was 50-36. The over went sailing at 86 points, for crying out loud. You see both heads on the side of UCLA, and UCLA and USC are both now ranked inside the top 10, so that ought to set up a good showdown between those two at the end of the year.
Yeah, UCLA gave up a lot of points, though.
Oh, they do. And that was a little shocker because their defense is actually supposed to be a little better.
Hmm.
But I don't know.
All right.
Notable game section. Minnesota was 15.5-point favorites. They did not do that.
I knew I had. There we go.
Are you going to put there you
It's
go.
up there.
Great. Now, I did take Nebraska with the points. I thought Nebraska would keep it closer. I even thought there was an outside shot that could potentially win this game because Minnesota's not all that great, in my opinion. They win by a touchdown. Don't cover. Easily the under, like most Big Ten games.
Most importantly about this game,
Nebraska lost.
Nebraska lost.
So,
What? Oh, you probably don't have the ranking all the way down. You don't have the. You don't go all the way to 131.
So, no. No. Let me see if they're in the also receiving votes here. No, they're not even in the also receiving votes. All right, so Nebraska has to pretty much run the table to become bowl eligible.
Not going to be able to do it.
Bye-bye.
Well, at least not a made-up bowl game.
The Nebraska Bowl.
Yeah, that's probably what will happen.
All right, last game on the slate that we did, just because of the alum Richard had in Florida State, the FSU Seminoles destroy Miami 45-3. It was actually pretty sad that this was an ABC primetime game for all the country to have to watch.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I mean, that Miami looked really bad. FSU looked really great
Against Miami.
Now, Florida State's a decent team. They'll hang with most, but that's definitely not a sign that there's some juggernaut all of a sudden. So those are your games for college, and not a lot of heads on that screen.
Not a lot. It's not going to get much better.
And I would imagine our book did pretty good as well.
Well, we did well, yes.
All right. Ready for NFL?
I am. There you go.
All right. Well, just keep housekeeping here. Browns, Broncos, Cowboys, Giants, Steelers, and 49ers were all on byes. So that left a short field of 11 games basically to go for the entire weekend. And the first one was the Chargers at the Falcons. Falcons were getting 3.5, however you want to lay it. They lose by 3. So they got that hook. Once again, I love taking the hook. And look what happens. You see my face right there on that side.
Yeah, I'm shocked because, I stayed away from the Dirty Birds because they had 2 bad weeks against the spread. And look what they do to me here.
They do. They give you cover.
Darn it.
It wasn't evidently one of my picks.
It wasn't.
In the pick 6.
Wah, wah.
This one was. Miami Dolphins. They were at the Bears. Bears somehow mustered 32 points in offense, mostly Justin Fields. Miami Dolphins scored 35, so they won, but they lost by a hook. Mark took the Bears.
I took the Bears because I thought the weather would be more of an impact, but I did not think the game would be this high scoring.
No, but at the end of the day, the hook helps you. So once again, take the hook when it's, especially in the NFL games, when it's a 3.5 or a 7.5 or even a 4.5. I tend to take the other side.
Now, I was listening to a guest who likes to talk stats to me on Sundays, and he was telling me that, as if I should know this, that you really want to take when it's 3.5 like this. And the home team is the underdog. You should take that underdog at the getting the 3.5 because of the hook.
Really?
I don't know how much validity is behind it. That's not what I'm going by because I got my own formula.
Yeah, I'm not sure what their formula is on a week-to-week basis, other than if you're undefeated, you're still getting picked until you're not.
Bingo.
All right. And then I guess if you're at home and you're the favored by 3.5, you should lay it, is
Right.
this guy's thing.
Yes.
We'll get to that in just a minute.
All righty.
All right, next game on the slate, Carolina Panthers at the Bengals. Oh, my God, did Joe Mixon have himself a game? 5 touchdowns, 4 rushing, 1 receiving. It was 35-0, I believe, at half.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 42-21. It was all said and done. It was so bad Baker Mayfield got back in the game in the second half and ended up rolling for 3 touchdowns here. Cincinnati still covered that 7.5 at home. Over under 42.5. The Bengals basically had that by themselves.
Yeah.
And both sides.
Not a shocking win here.
This is the one I should have taken out of all the ones I picked. That Green Bay game, I went over to desperation. That would have been the one. And speaking of the Packers, oh, my goodness.
Retire Aaron Rodgers. You just need to retire.
9 points scored at Detroit, who at the time had been giving up 20-something a game to everybody, minimum.
How's it going to get better for the Packers this year? How is it going to get better?
I don't know, because you're basically going to hope that you can sign anybody that ain't signed by an NFL team already, which means Odell Beckham Jr. is the only one out there wide receiver-wise that could help you. And if you're him, why would you sign with a 3-6 Packers team?
Yeah, you're not. If you're trying to get to the big bowl game, Super Bowl, forget it.
And now Aaron Jones was in a walking boot. Romeo Doubs, their wide receiver, is in a walking boot and crutches. And they got the Cowboys coming in. So it's not looking good for Green Bay. And they're 5 games back, actually 6, because they lost to the Minnesota Vikings earlier this year. So they have no shot to win the division anymore, and they got to hope for a playoff run as a wild card team. And they're only 2 games out of that, so it's not like that's real far right now.
Yeah, that's going to be a stretch.
All right. Any heads there?
Nope.
Indianapolis Colts, here we go. My best bet, the only thing I hit all weekend, really, I feel. Patriots dump trucked them 26-3. It was enough to get their coach, Frank Reich, fired about 2 hours ago this morning. So,
oh, nice.
yeah, they're without defensive guy, I think, an offensive who knows who's left. I really don't know, but they got some serious problems with not only cap space because they have Matt Ryan on the hook for $35 million next year. He's not even starting. The Sam Ehlinger has been sacked all over the place, and he's supposed to be the scrambling QB. And they're 3-5-1 in that division with Tennessee, so it's not like they're out of it because Tennessee ended up losing last night. But
they got a lot of work to do.
They're like a rudderless ship. I don't know which direction they're going.
That's why I stayed away from this game, but I kind of wish I would have played it.
Oh, as your pick six?
Yeah.
Here's one. Bills and the Jets, baby. Jets didn't just cover by staying within 11.5. They flat out won 20-17 over those aforementioned Buffalo Bills. So here's what I learned about this game, which happened to Patrick Mahomes really ever since last year started. Buffalo Bills are a big play, big strike type of offense, whether it's a large run by Josh Allen or a big play by Stephon Diggs or one of their other wide receivers. If you back enough people in coverage and can just get pressure with your 4 or 5 guys up front, they're a totally different team and they struggle to score. They have no running game to speak of, to lean back on. This could be an issue. Now, Buffalo's still going to be good. I think they still end up winning that division outright, but they're 0-2 in the division and have won every other game.
If the teams can just watch tape and they have the capability of doing it, they will be able to beat the Bills.
The Bills. Say it again.
Say what again? The Bills?
The Bills.
The Bills.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Vikings. There's where the hook got me.
Yeah.
They ended up winning by 3. They should have won by 3.5. That's what I needed against those Washington Commanders. And they were down, I think, 10 points in the fourth quarter, so they actually had to rally to come back from that. So Washington, another late interception by their quarterback. Does that sound familiar?
Yep.
That gives Minnesota what they need to actually win this game. The over-under of 43.5 came up just short, though. Washington ends up going to 4-5, and I think they got the Eagles this week.
That's rough.
It is, but those divisional games, I'm telling you, even with crappy teams, they seem to hang on and stay close a lot longer than you would give them credit for.
No.
Oh, did I say crappy teams?
Are you sniffing glue?
Not yet.
All right. Let's go on.
Speaking of crappy teams, here you go. The Raiders and the Jaguars. Raiders had 17-0 lead, guys. 17-0. And I was looking like a fool for picking Jacksonville, and then all of a sudden Raiders became Raiders. They scored 3 points in the second half. Meanwhile, the Jaguars ended up with 27.
They did Raider things.
They did Raider things. And now, I mean, with Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, like they've got players on offense. But the defense, just a sieve. I mean, they weren't great last year, but they were better than this. They fall to 2-6 now. With Kansas City pretty much going to win this division, it seems like walking away. Chargers have an outside shot.
Yeah. Not going to win the Super Bowl. Didn't you say they were going to the Super Bowl?
Who?
You.
Who?
Raiders.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. You sniffing glue, man. I'll tell you what, I don't know what.
Look at this one.
I know medical marijuana is legal, but I didn't know you had a prescription. All right. Seattle Seahawks and Arizona Cardinals. Man, I thought I was going to have this one after that pick 6 return early in the third. I thought that swung momentum, and not so fast, my friend.
Hang on.
Not going to be able to do it.
Not going to be able to do it. I thought they were in desperation mode. Now they fall to 3-6. So they're basically out of the divisional race. Seattle goes to 6-3, I think, and if I looked at it, we both picked them to be at the basement of this division.
Oh, no, not me.
What'd you pick them? Second from the bottom?
Nah, right mid. 500.
Right. Okay.
Throw your challenge flag. Throw the challenge flag.
Yeah, I think I'm going to throw the challenge because we were debating Geno Smith and Drew Lock, and we're like, yeah, they're playing for him, guys. They got a little bit of a defense thing going. They definitely got a running game, and Geno is not making a whole lot of mistakes, which was really what was plaguing Geno throughout his career. He was Jameis Winston happy.
You know those commercials? That's what we need to get. We need, and I know where there used to be some flags on this property.
I do too. I think I know.
And we should go get them for our show.
We should, and be able to throw the challenge.
That's right. But who's looking it up? Because I'm going to win every challenge.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up, Paul.
I'm going to tell you the same thing that we hear.
Not going to be able to do it.
Inconclusive.
Oh my goodness. Not inconclusive. Rams and Buccaneers. Buccaneers have a late drive finally. They needed this game bad. You got by the hook. Yep.
The hooky.
You covered by the hooky.
Yep.
So, what was it? 16-13. There you go.
Yep.
So, not a whole lot of offense still. Both teams still have a lot of problems. Just somebody had to win this game, and Tom Brady ended up engineering at least one more. He also became the first quarterback to throw for over 100,000 yards.
Wow.
That is crazy.
That's crazy, but he was so elated that he finally won a game this year.
I know. They moved to 4-5, and in that division,
That ties him, doesn't it?
It ties them.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got the Saints could move to 4-5 tonight, so it'll be interesting to see who actually has the tiebreaker in that. It might still be Atlanta.
Yeah, no. Had to see who I picked. Saints.
All right. Here's the delusional alternate reality game of the week.
Whoa.
Tennessee Titans. Mark boldly predicted that Tennessee was going to win this thing outright on the money line, and damn it, they almost did.
Almost.
I thought that was going to be a huge segment on this show, but no offense.
That would have been super sweet. But at least I got the that was my pick of the week right there.
That was.
Against the spread.
Yeah, it was. And the Chiefs just won in overtime by 3. Tennessee, as bad as you thought Tannehill was, Malik Willis is not ready. So I would expect Tannehill to be back in the lineup next week before this thing gets out of control a little. Tennessee 5-3, still decently ahead and comfortably ahead in that division right now.
I wonder if Nick or Kyle or maybe even Richard or I'm not sure who from that team would be, the High Rise or somebody from the High Rise should be able to tell us how much play was on that alternate universe. Who took advantage? Try to take advantage of it.
I don't know.
Because that would have had him sitting in their seat for the whole game.
We'll try to get that email out to Richard and see if he can tell us or anybody can tell us on that.
That whole crew up down in Miami is all stat driven, so we haven't met one that isn't.
And Justin, you came awful damn close, son, but
Not gonna be able to do it.
almost pulled it off, though. Big one ass. All right, last game of the week. Monday night game. Baltimore Ravens on the road to New Orleans.
And these are who we picked here.
This is who we picked. 5-3 for one side, 3-5 for the other. So the Saints, with a win tonight, if they could get it, remain in the thick of the race for a divisional title. 48.5, 2.5 is the over-under. It really hasn't moved. So I went and looked at early indications. Only 52% of the money is on the Ravens, so it's a pretty even split game. And really looking at it on paper, this is probably one of the best overall even matchups, I think, of the week.
I think a lot of this helps because they're playing in New Orleans. If it was the other way around, I would ask if you were sniffing glue.
You're right. If New Orleans is on the road to Baltimore, what it tells me is Baltimore would be a 6-point favorite or so if you gave them the 3-point home field advantage. So
Well, make it 6.5.
6.5, however you want to do it. But instead, Baltimore is favored 2.5 on the road. I decided to take New Orleans because of the dome effect in prime time. They're actually playing pretty decent offensively, like they can put up some points. And Baltimore, they're going to be without Mark Andrews tonight. They're going to be without Rashad Bateman, the number 1 right receiver tonight. And so, like they normally do, they're going to have to rely a lot on Lamar Jackson's legs and any other running back. Gus Edwards ain't playing tonight, so they got Kenyon Drake again and Justice Hill.
They still win.
They might.
You want to look at Thursday's game here?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at Thursday's game because it's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah.
Atlanta Falcons, there's at 4-5, so
Yep.
they're at least tied for the lead right now. They're on the road to the Carolina Panthers. Atlanta is a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under is 43.5. When I looked, you got 42.5, so it moved a little bit. They think some points are going to be scored here.
All right.
So it's going up a little bit, but still, early indications. Now that you've been burned by Atlanta 2 weeks in a row, are you going to be jumping on their bandwagon this time?
I'm jumping on because the Panthers are horrible. I don't care where they're playing.
Yeah, well, they've been playing tougher until they met Cincinnati here this last week. And then who's going to be their quarterback is what I'm trying to figure out. Baker Mayfield is not that much better than P.J. Walker, but
Quarterback controversy for the Dookie team.
yeah, the Dookie team. I guess in early indications for me is I think Atlanta has more to play for right now.
You want me to change that graphic to Baltimore?
I hope after tonight's result that they'll see 3 out of the 4 teams in that division at 4-5, and so they got to get some giddy up and gain control again, get back to 500.
So you're going to Atlanta?
I'm going Atlanta.
All right, let me put that down.
All right.
All right.
Who you got?
I got Atlanta.
You got Atlanta too?
Yep, I'm going to Atlanta. I'll jump back on the bandwagon.
Uh-oh.
And I'm sure they'll
We're both on Atlanta.
be just like this come Friday with no heads on the screen.
So, if you still haven't taken advantage of that $250 risk-free bet, you might want to go ahead and put that on the Carolina Panthers plus 2.5 this weekend.
That's right.
All right, what else we got going today?
Well, we're going to take a look at our standings and our Pick 6 results. Are we ready for that?
Yeah, you ready?
Well, drop that graphic down. I'll be ready.
All
right. Because I gotta which one do you want to start with first? Who you want?
Well,
whose stand do you want to look
while
at?
you got that going, we're
Yeah.
getting ready.
All right.
Let me go ahead and show y'all or tell y'all what's going on in the latest top 25 rankings in college football. Georgia's your new number one. Should have never been out of number one. They get 62 votes out of 63. Ohio State now moves to 2. Michigan moves to 3. TCU moved up 3 spots. They're now number 4, and they technically be in the college football playoff at this stage. Tennessee now on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
They're 8-1 at 5th. Oregon is in 6th with 8-1. LSU now big move to 7. USC, UCLA, and Alabama wrap out your top 10. So now you got Alabama at 10th. They just refused to drop Alabama out of the top 10.
I'll tell you what was all those mentioned. The biggest surprise to me was LSU moving that high up.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
yeah.
they've lost 2 games. So
they have, and they beat Alabama, which ain't your daddy's Alabama. I mean,
yeah.
they've got big flaws. Rest of your top, at least to the 20 line, is Ole Miss at 11. Clemson, talk about dropping. You went from 4th, I believe it was. Let's see. Yeah, 7 spots to 12th. That's the biggest drop of the entire week, or at least tied with Illinois. Utah, Penn State, North Carolina, Tulane is 16th now. NC State, Texas, Liberty. They're 19th. And Notre Dame is 20th. So now Notre Dame at 6-3 gets ranked again after that drubbing of Clemson. And your other 5, let's see. No Nebraska still. Illinois, UCF, Kansas State, Washington, welcome back to the top 25. And Florida State. Congratulations, Richard. 25th in the country right now.
Great.
So 4 teams that were not ranked last week are now ranked in this week's top 25.
Yeah, but the most important piece is Nebraska still isn't anywhere on that radar.
That's right. Speaking of not being on the radar.
Yeah, this is you.
You ready?
Oh, it's ready.
Man, this sucks. Yeah, there's my picks.
Let the world shine.
All right. Miami, you only won by 3. I needed 3.5. Packers, wasn't even close. I have no excuse for that one. New England, you're why lock, and you got me my 2. Vikings, 3.5. You only won by 3. Arizona, you just got beat. Oh, sorry. Look at that Dookie
That's okay.
picks. You're right.
I got it right there
And the
for you.
Buccaneers. You won, but only by 3. So 3 games, this would have been different. I would have been at a 5 spot instead of a 2 spot, but it is what it is. I stink this week. It's been a minute.
Who you want to go with next?
Let's go with you because you end up saving the day, at least from $100 in food.
Somewhat, yeah. Take a look. See there.
Actually, you had 4 points, so it should be 4 instead of 2 on there. Cincinnati,
Yeah, hey, what the heck?
you get a point.
Yay!
Packers.
Retire.
Oh, my God, those Buffalo Bills. Not only did they not cover, they didn't win.
Yeah, no.
Minnesota Vikings. Hey, guess who got hit by Captain Hook?
That's me.
Rams. Guess who got saved by Captain Hook? And the Titans almost flat out won the game, but it was his lock.
It was mine. And
So-
all those were for free.
Oh, those were for free. The 4-banger ends up at least tying one of the high risers. And we can get to their picks here. Who do you
right.
want to go to first?
Let's see. We'll
Give him some
start with
airtime.
Richard.
All right, Richard. Oh, my goodness.
That might not be right with the points. Is it right with? Yep, that's 3 points.
That's 3 points. So you flat out got beat. You don't get nothing but a T-shirt. Let's see. Falcons.
No, he got 25. He beat you.
Oh, hell. That's right. One
Yeah,
of us.
he gets 25.
Now you make
I mean, we're making the graphics. I make it say 1 point.
Falcons, you got saved by the bell, right?
I don't know.
By the hook. Miami, you got
bell.
beat by Captain Hook. New England, I thought that was actually the way he was talking going to be his best bet, but they easily covered. Washington, you got saved by Captain Hook. Buffalo, you flat out got whooped. And he took Tampa Bay, which was his best bet, and they got beat by Captain Hook.
Let me tell you something. He shouldn't have picked Tampa just because he lives in Florida.
Yeah, I know. And Miami, though. Miami got him, too.
That's too bad.
Both Florida teams.
That's what I'm saying. All right, let's go to the big boy.
All right, here's the
Nick.
Now, didn't he just have 1 or 2 points the first time?
Well, he had 2 points.
2 points.
Because he loved the Monday night games.
Oh, that's right.
There were 2 Monday night games, and he tried picking both of them.
And this guy picked.
He's just making up the rules.
Like on the fly, just got the sheet and picked these within 2.5 minutes. Just let you know. You don't have to do a whole lot of studying.
That's what I've been saying.
To win in betting sports. Bengals, big winner. That was his best bet, and it turned out to be an ass stomping, too. So, Rams, guess what? Got saved by Captain Hook. Lions flat out won. Didn't need Captain Hook. Jacksonville flat out won. Raiders stink. The only one he stunk on, well, 2 of them actually. This one, Arizona, had no chance really at the end. I thought they did in the third quarter. And the Chiefs, for 12.5-point favorites, you almost lost that game, not even close. But 3 or 4 out of 6 right, including your lock, got you 5 points. So, Nick, next time you're in town, whenever that may be, Odds Brothers owes you $50 in food. Did you ever get his T-shirt?
I did give him his T-shirt, yeah.
All right. Better wear it.
Yeah, he's got to wear it in order to get his free food.
And we'll give you some FaceTime so you can gloat.
That was in the small print of our show when you signed it.
Oh, yeah, the legal disclaimer. Oh, my goodness. All right, so those were the pick 6. We had 2 high risers, so now we have some updated scoring, I guess, right?
Yeah, let's go to this sketch here.
All right,
show everybody that Nick is on the top 5.
Stephen Thorne got knocked out, so now you have to be above the Mendoza line to be on our leaderboard for the year. OC's still on top. He was the only guy that picked 6, and the only guy other than Nick now that beat both of us on a given week.
Yes.
Nick's tied with Daniel Foster, an average Joe, with 5, and then we have a handful of folks at 4 and 3.
Right, that's right. Well, we're only going to the top 5.
No, that's good. That's good. See if we can fill that up with 5s. Let's see if that goes on.
And this is updated points.
Pick 6 leaderboard, boy. I got the 2. I was at 31.5. Well, I inch up ahead a little bit. 33.5. Mark, he's making a nice late push here. Last 3 weeks, he's moving up to 27 in second. The Joe's at 22. High risers, I think there's still 1 down now.
Yeah, one week down. Yeah.
On the average Joes, and they're at 17. So another big week, and we'll see.
We might have to do another double up when I believe that there might be a high riser coming into town sometime in December.
Okay.
And since we're having trouble filling that spot, we may do a little double one again.
All right, awesome. Who's coming this week?
I don't know.
Weekend. All right. Well,
it's a guess.
We'll find out.
Let me take a look. See, I do have it on my. Let me take a look at my phone here because I do need to update the list.
All right. Well, while
so
you do
what is today? We got the 11th?
We got the 11th will be the next show.
So Gus will be our guest this week. He's going to be for the Average Joes.
Gus, all right.
Yeah, he is a regular here at Southland on the retail side.
I didn't know if it was going to be Gus Edwards since he's not playing tonight. Maybe he had some time to stop by and do the show.
I haven't seen Gus in a couple of days, so I hope everything's okay, and I hope he shows up for the show. If not, well, I guess the Average Joes just fall further behind.
All right, and we got maybe a high riser too, right?
Oh, we do have a high riser. Yep, high riser set. Yep.
All right, good deal. So tune in. Our pick shows Friday. I make it my number 1 goal to get better than 2 freaking points.
I think you will.
Team.
I think it was just a fluke because you've been outstanding this year.
I was close. That gets you $0 too, by the way. Being close, you can't be close and win. You got to have it.
That's right.
We don't round up points, despite what people tell me all the time happens in Tunica. That's 6.5 points. They round up to 7 in Tunica. No, they don't do that.
No respectable book rounds anything.
No. Otherwise, why have it at a half?
Your bookie may.
All right. What else we got going on? Anything? We have like 11 NBA games tonight. A bunch.
Hold on a second. We are forgetting something. Let me slap these up real quick. These are our picks of our locks. Lock standings. 14 of 20.
14 of 20 and 12 of 20.
Yeah.
So that ain't too bad. 7 out of 10, 70% for me, and 60% for Mark.
Yeah. Well,
so that's pretty
about
good.
A D plus.
A D plus in school, but if you can hit 70% of your best bets or 60, anything over 50 gets you money.
Yeah. So not bad. I thought I was going to catch you today. Not
a chance, Tiger.
I know. Darn it. All right.
And then last but not least, we got a bunch of NBA games tonight. A lot to go over, but One notable one or two notable ones, the Brooklyn Nets are at Dallas Mavericks, and the Mavericks are actually favored over Durant. And I know Kyrie is suspended for like 5 games, but Dallas doesn't seem to ever come up to these games that they should win. They end up letting the other team stay close. So you might want to take the Nets on that one and grab a handful of points. I think it was 5.5. And then Boston Celtics are coming into town. The Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies at home are actually getting points. Last I looked, it was 4 or 4.5. I like it when the Grizzlies at home are getting points from anybody.
Is that game tonight?
That game is tonight.
That'd be a good game.
Let me pull up the schedule real quick because I think I hope it's a nationally televised game, but let's see here. Please hold.
Please hold for station identification.
Just for those folks that are wondering. And we'll go off here.
What they wonder?
Wizards and Hornets play, Rockets and Magic, so not really good games there early. Thunder, Pistons, Pelicans at the Pacers. The Suns at the 76ers is on NBA TV tonight at 7 o'clock. Right now, they have Phoenix a 2.5-point favorite on the road. 214.5 is the over-under. In that scenario, I do like the over for sure, and probably, since it's just 2.5, I'm going to go ahead and I like the Suns, just to throw that out there. Bucks and Hawks, 9-0 versus 6-3. That should be a good game. Trailblazers versus the Heat. Trailblazers, pretty interesting 6-3 this year. They've been doing well. Raptors at the Bulls. Here we are, 8 o'clock. Celtics at the Grizzlies. Not nationally televised, but it will be on Fox Sports Southeast.
Darn it.
Right now, Boston 4-point favorites. 231 is the over-under. So that's actually kind of high. I like the under in that.
Well,
and I like the Grizzlies at home getting the points.
Well, let me ask you this. If they come to the sports bar here at Southland, can they watch the Grizzlies?
They will be able to watch the Grizzlies.
Right there on the big board?
We have that package, yes.
All
we do have the
right.
League Pass right here. We won't be doing our show, but you can see the stage.
Yeah,
And,
you can say, hey, that's where those guys do it.
all the NBA action tonight. We'll have assorted games throughout the sports bar. Enjoy. We got some good foods. The pizza, the nachos are really good.
Oh, I had the nachos like last week, and they were, whew.
Plenty of ice cold beer. 30-some beers on draft or something on tap?
I don't know. We can't have it.
Not during the show.
We can't. You all can.
Knicks and Timberwolves, Nuggets and Spurs. There's the Nets and Mavericks game. Kings and Warriors and Lakers. Boy, they're 2-7 on the year. They're at the Utah Jazz. And then the late game is Cavaliers. Am I reading that right?
I don't know. What did you say?
Cleveland Cavaliers. They're 8-1 on the year. I did not realize they're 8-1. They're at the Clippers, who are dead even at 5-5. Cleveland's 4-point favorites there in that game. That'll be the late game on NBA TV tonight.
All right.
So there's your NBA action, folks. Keep in mind, you can bet here 7 days a week. Our retail counter is open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. or whenever the game gets over at the end, especially if we're watching football. And then on the weekends, 9 to whenever the last game goes, usually
That's
on
right.
the NFL. So kiosks are 24/7. And then, as always, you can get on that mobile app as well.
That's right. You know, and advice for the folks coming into Sportsbook here at Southland, you want to make sure that on Saturdays and Sundays, if you're trying to rush in at the 5-minute mark to try to get into that game at noon or 11 for Saturdays for the college games, you may want to get here just a little sooner.
Yeah. You got some people maybe getting shut out a little?
Or get on the app. You don't even have to leave your house. One or the other.
That's true.
Or if you're staying at a hotel, you can actually access that app from your hotel room. You don't even have to get dressed.
That's true, too. You can get all this great advice free twice a week. Remember, Monday and Friday, WTF Mondays, where we recap everything. We're going to have a little bit of a change up to that show soon, so stay tuned for some details. Also, Friday, we do our picks and our pick six and all that good stuff, too, so we have a lot of fun.
Sounds good.
All right. Got anything else for us?
I don't.
All right.
You done?
So you're watching episode 30 of The Odds Brothers. I think I'm done. I was done as of midday Sunday when I watched all those hooks, Hibby. I'm done, folks.
Put a fork in him.
Yeah, we'll see you Friday. Thanks for listening. And remember, if you want to be an average Joe, come see one of us. We got some spots, limited availability for December and January. Take care. And see you Friday.
Thank you for listening to the Odds Brothers podcast.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Presented by the Bentley Sportsbook. Place your sports bets here from inside Southland Casino or from anywhere in Arkansas at southland.bentley.com.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, that dang old internet, man, you just go on there and point and click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.
Be sure to follow the Odds Brothers podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google, and YouTube. Keep in mind, in Arkansas, you must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas to bet. Please play responsibly. For help quitting, call 1-800-522-4700.